Hey, John.
Doug, what's the problem, man?
Nothing.
I'm kind of down. All right?
No, it's just kind of feeling like it was back in the 60s, you know?
Deja vu.
I didn't have a worry at all.
It's all the same thing.
I was oblivious to the news and all the stuff that was going on. Right. There was a war on TV every night.
You want to tell people who we are, Doug?
Oh, yeah.
You might want to.
Folks, you're listening to the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. This is the Gazette Radio Hour, the radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette and Free Classifieds, for all you need to know to be in the know.
That's
anyway.
True. You said that right. No. So you're a little down today.
I don't know if down's the right word. I'm
tired. Just kind of like
bored,
been there, done that.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we have to talk about?
Well, you know, John, I was thinking back to the 60s.
Oh, Jesus.
And actually, it was the early 70s.
Why do I feel like we need sitar music?
And I remember the last thing my history teacher said before I graduated from high school, and he was talking about...
Get out of here?
Yeah. He was talking
about...
over
the summer, Mr. Hand?
He was talking about Watergate, and Watergate was just getting started. And the last thing I remember him saying was, this Watergate thing is nothing. It's just going to blow over. Wow. You watch.
Have you gone back to laugh in his face?
Yeah. No, I haven't.
So
a year later, what happened?
Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, let's back up a second. Let's
What?
pull this together.
What?
Tighten it up. Okay, we're doing a radio show. It's time to focus.
Oh, yeah.
All right. You seem kind of down. You seem kind of like been there, done that. But there's all kinds of cool stuff going on. I mean, we had all kinds of cool stuff at the city council. Billboards. You're right. We've been there. We've done that. We have the IRS scandal. We have that.
That's what I'm talking about. The IRS scandal. That's what I'm talking about, John. That's what I'm talking about. You got to be kidding me. This thing is going to explode. This reminds me just of Watergate. Each day, just a little more something. Just a little more something.
You're right.
And they started asking the one question. In fact, the gentleman just died today, Howard Baker, who was a senator, and he came up with a great question that should be asked today. What did the president know, and when did he know it?
Yeah. Deja vu again.
Yeah.
We're back to that. We've got you're right. Now you've brought me down. Congratulations. You've actually brought me down. You're absolutely right. It is the exact same thing all over again.
Yep.
We've got a president who doesn't seem to care, is above the law. Yep. Okay, whatever. Nobody seems to care. We've got the chloride issue. We can bring that up. We've talked about that forever. That's still coming to a head. It's never going to get resolved. And if it does, oh my gosh, people are going to be like, oh, I have to pay $200 more a year of my property taxes, whatever. Yeah, then we've got the Semtech stuff. Oh yeah, they're going to do it. They're not going to do it. Oh yeah, big deal once again. We got the billboards. They're going to be there. They're not going to be there. Oh yeah, who cares once again?
Yeah. What about all the money the city could get if they were there? Oh,
what do people care about?
I don't know.
I mean, is that a legitimate question? What do people really care about? Is it their pocketbooks? I mean, elections, people vote their pocketbooks.
Well, what stirs the most excitement? What do you see the flags hanging from the cars? It's sports.
Sports.
When the Kings were in the finals?
Yeah. Okay.
The Lakers used to be in the finals. That was a long time ago, but when the Lakers were in the finals?
You've got the USA in the World Cup. Great.
What?
We get in by losing. Okay, whatever.
Whatever.
It's soccer. Nobody really cares. And then you got baseball. It's long.
My point was back in the 60s, I just, wanted to be cool at school, my bicycle, girls, swimming pool, didn't care what was going on. I want to be like that again.
I think you are, though. That's the problem. Maybe that's the problem.
I wrote in my rant this week, I got friends, literally, that have...
Wait a minute, you wrote in your rant that you have friends? For real?
I have a few.
Did you name them?
These particular friends have no idea. You could ask them about the IRS scandal. You could ask them about anything. They are oblivious. They don't watch TV. They don't read the newspaper. They don't read the news online.
Here's the question.
And you know what? They like it like that.
Are they happier than you?
I think they are.
Maybe that's the key to life, is not... Okay, everybody turn off your radio and go outside.
You could ask them, hey, man, what do you think about this IRS scandal? Isn't that... What are you talking about? Hey, what about this billboard thing? What do you think about that? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Or the chloride.
Hey, what do you think who got elected on the city council? I don't even know.
We have a city council?
I couldn't name you one person on the city council.
I wonder what percentage of people in Santa Clarita could name one councilman.
I bet it's low.
I bet you they still think we have a mayor.
Yeah.
No, but is that...
I don't know. John, is it?
Wow. That's harsh. That is really harsh. I mean, do people just not care because it's too much to get involved?
Or they're just so consumed with themselves and day-to-day living and being able to pay the bills and,
Which isn't that circular, though?
Yeah.
Think about it. If you're so concerned about your cost of living, your daily living, well, what has a dramatic effect on that?
Yeah.
The government. The government, you're either getting something from the government or you're giving something to the government. There's no in between.
I mean, have you ever seen on the Bill O'Reilly show where that one guy, I forget his name, he goes out on the street and he holds up a picture of Joe Biden and a picture of John Kerry, and he says, which one of these is the vice president of the United States? And the majority of the people get it wrong.
Yeah? Does that surprise you, though?
No, not at all.
The problem is, I don't think you can do this. I don't think you can sit there and say that's just the intelligence of the American people. I don't think it's that. I think it's the apathy.
Exactly.
And I think there's a difference.
Yes.
I think, I've said all along, if you want people to get off the couch for a reason, you got to find that reason.
Yep.
I don't care whether it's, going to a city council because you want a stop sign on your street.
I will say this about the 60s. I don't know if you've seen the show on CNN called the 60s.
I was like 2.
Yeah. Well, I was a little older than that. But I'll tell you one thing. The fervor of the people that demonstrated and rioted against the war, that's got a lot of people's attention back then.
There's more passion. There's more passion.
That was something else.
There's more passion.
Anyway, if you get a chance to see that show called The 60s on CNN, you got to watch it. It's excellent.
All right. So we will have to see what I can do during the break to bring you up to speed there, Doug.
All right, whatever.
Revisit some of the drugs you took in the 60s.
Whatever will be.
Wow.
Case Ciroc.
All right, you listen to the uplifting Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station. We'll be right back.
Yeah, John, I don't know how long I can hold on either. So much stuff's going on in the world.
It's not that bad, Doug. And some of the stuff is interesting. Some of the stuff is
Hey,
going to get
did you hear that Rick Fox and his girlfriend broke up? That really got me down.
Who's Rick Fox?
I think I used to play for the Lakers. Oh, you know what else happened? Rosie O'Donnell. She is in such dire financial straits. She had to sell 4 of her houses.
Okay, this is really bad TMZ radio. Can we move along to something?
No, but this is the kind of stuff that's getting me down these days.
Well, what about the...
Anyway, folks, this is Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS, the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John, the radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette and Free Classifieds for all you need to know to be in the know.
See, Doug, I think your biggest problem is you don't realize that there's some really dumb things going on out there.
Like what?
Well, the whole billboard thing. Okay.
Oh, that's boring and irrelevant. And
is it boring?
A waste of time.
Is it boring? I don't know about that. Is it a waste of time?
Well, I tell you what wasn't boring. It sounded to me like the meeting. This city council meeting was not boring. In fact, the headline of the Gazette this week says,
chaos, tension, and frustration. City council meeting on billboard reform results in emotional conflict. And it did. I was there.
Right. Somebody else was there. I think we have her on the line. It's Jessica Vidal, who writes for us, and she wrote that story. Jessica, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Jessica, chaos, tension, and frustration, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
So what exactly happened?
Well, some people got kicked out. There was a lot of talking in the audience that people, I'm sure, on TV couldn't actually hear. A lot of discussion, a lot of remarks during speeches. There was a lot of conflict going on.
Were people being rude?
People were being very rude.
Oh. Really? Okay, now define rude, because I'll reserve my judgment. I want to see what you saw. Define rude. Was it like rude to the councilman, rude to other speakers?
Well,
both?
There was some rudeness to the councilman. I was actually sitting in the front. And there were some people on my right, and it seemed that every single person that would go up that was against their beliefs, I would hear constant remarks and kind of like, I don't know, they were just talking about what these people were saying and saying that they were wrong. And it was almost like they could hear them, but I'm sure they couldn't.
Yeah.
So was it equal, you think, for the pros and the cons, or?
Well, there were... Like, how were the remarks?
Yeah, or was there the same amount of people there that were against and for? Or was one outweigh the other?
There was definitely more people that were against the billboards there.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that.
The remarks were pretty equal.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Who do you think did a better job of presenting their case? The people in favor of the billboards, or the people against the billboards?
That's a tough one. I think they each had pretty good responses. I'm kind of neutral, so I understood both sides. I think they definitely had more representatives there against the billboards.
Yeah, they were.
Just so our listeners know, when we're saying billboards now, because this is a lot of confusion between the regular billboards. This issue was the digital, electronic billboards, correct?
Right.
Yeah. What happened is well, Jessica, you tell us. They passed. They're putting it on the ballot or something?
They're putting it on the ballot. They approved the signatures.
Okay.
And they decided to put it on the ballot. I believe it's for this year.
Yeah, it's November 4th, I think.
Right.
So we're gonna get to vote on this.
The only difference is that they were really discussing whether, because it's no longer 62, it's 40.
40 what?
Right. It's 40.
Of the static billboards that are coming down for those 3 to go up.
So how can did they say they're still gonna change?
They're changing the wording on the ballot.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Can they do that?
It's not the same thing that was so whatever they signed on the referendum isn't technically the same thing that's going on the ballot.
But what referendum are we voting on?
We're voting on 3 billboards for 40.
Not 3 for 62.
Exactly.
Wow.
Okay.
That's completely different than what they...
Yeah, Tim Benn was actually saying that's pretty much, that's like 30% less.
Councilman Boydson said that, yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's right. I did hear that. That one just... Legal standpoint, John's legal opinion, that may not be exactly legal. There should be a lawsuit because if you think about it, the whole deal is that they pass something, people get the signatures to defeat that something, and then the city council has the option of either going, okay, fine, people don't want it, they take it away, or let's put it to a vote. They can't do that.
But that something changed.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Wow. This isn't going away, Jessica, is it?
No. It's going to be here for a while. It's going to be here until November.
At least
I'm sure we'll
November.
keep hearing about it.
So do you think there'll be any action to try to get it off the ballot since it's not the same referendum?
I don't know. That
I'm
one...
not sure.
Yeah, that one's...
From what I heard at the council meeting, there's a lot that goes into trying to change what's on the ballot.
Yeah.
And someone has to sue
Yeah.
in order to get anything changed on the ballot if they don't like it or if they think it's causing some kind of problem.
Yeah. Oh, what a nightmare. And they just opened themselves up. Jessica, you may not know the answer to this. I don't. Any clue as to why the city council is so hot for this billboard deal?
I'm not totally sure. I
just got the impression sitting there that they were it was almost railroaded.
Well, at least 3 of them, right?
Yeah. No, probably more, but it was almost like it was
3 council members.
Yeah, it was almost like it was a foregone conclusion that it was going to go to a vote.
Well,
it definitely felt like that going in, and I think it was Councilman Keller that from the beginning of his comments said he already knew what he was voting.
Yeah, it's...
Well, John, and Jessica, hasn't it been like that from the beginning where every step of the way, the 3 council people that have been in favor of this, it's almost been a foregone conclusion from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, John, you're asking a very key question. Why? What's the motivation? The only thing I can think of is money.
Money.
What else would it be?
So how did Jessica, how did the group, there's some altercations and people kicked out, the group against the billboards?
Out of our little old city council meeting, we got people kicked out?
So what happened was Marcia wanted, I think it was Marcia hadn't given her discussion or comments.
Councilman McLean? Yeah.
Councilman Keller had voted had motioned to go to a vote. And they wanted Marcia to finish her comments because the people who were against the billboards are really keen about talking to Marcia. They like talking to her.
Yeah.
And I think it's I don't know, they have something against her, I think.
Wow.
But they wanted her to speak. And after she did, they motioned to go to a vote. The vote passed, and they decided that they were going to have the special election and have it coincide with the state, was it?
Right, yeah.
Right. And the national.
So that's when someone in the audience called out and they said, don't the people get a say in that? And it was directly after that several of the officers came over and they tried to get them to leave, and they didn't want to. And after a little bit of a debacle, they finally got them to go outside. And Marcia told them, all right, well, go outside, but then let them come back in.
Wow.
And they eventually did, and after a couple of minutes, maybe like 10, they lingered and they finally left the building. I'm not sure if they stayed afterwards, but they left the building for a little bit, and several of the other members that came along started slowly, one by one, leaving or moving to the back.
Point, yeah. Wow, Jessica, thanks for the update. I appreciate it.
No problem.
We'll have you on again. Stay on this story because there's something else going on here, I'm sure.
Okay.
All right. You listen to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station. We'll be right back.